Hi, my name is David Mannock, and this is part 2 of my previous video in which I started to talk about behavior, cognition, and motivation. And I suggested at the end that I would review for us 3 areas or domains regarding motivation, which is the toughest question for us in psychology to discern and understand why people do what they do. And there are all kinds of theories, very interesting, legitimate theories that we should look at. But I want to suggest 3 things. If we want to understand why a person does what they do, the motivational question, we can ask what seems to be the desire of a human person. What does a human person long for? What are their longings? And what do they need? Neuroscience in the 1990s, when we scanned the human brain, it became known as the decade of the brain. And from that decade, we stunningly, some in research walked away, understanding that humans are wired for relationship. And it's a very simplistic view, but one that could be helpful for us. The heart seems to be the center of relationship, and it seems to be asking 3 motivational questions as evidenced by these 3 things: desires, longings, and needs. Desires, the heart seems to need sense of security. Am I loved? Do I belong to you? Are we secure? And significance. What I do, does it matter? Is there impact in my life? Is there meaning and purpose? The human heart motivationally seems to be working out a relationship question, security, and impacting question, significance. Now, the human heart also seems to have 3 longings, and Dr. Larry Crabb, a clinical psychologist, says identify those 3. He calls them like a cone at the surface. The largest opening are what he calls casual needs, and those are needs that reflect our tastes. Some people like Italian when they go out for dinner. Some people like sushi. Those are casual longings. And relationship, it's sad when we die over casual longings. Should we paint the house white? Should we paint the house gray? It's sad if there's a divorce over the colors. Apparently, in that case, the spouses haven't learned to yield casual longings. We all have casual longings. Critical longings are tied with the desire of the heart for relationship, security, and significance. Now, you can't get an exemption from those 2 questions being answered. If you don't have security, you don't have significant relationships that you are connected and bonded to, and if you don't have critical things you're doing that impacts the world, then you're going to suffer degrees of anxiety and depression. No human has an exemption from that. But even if everything's together there is still a deepest longing, and that's the crucial longing. And the word crucial comes from the Latin word crux, which is translated heart. At the deepest core, since humans are strangely haunted by transcendence, or some sense that my life has to be more than just me living, eating, and dying. Is that it? We are haunted by a sense of eternity and transcendence, and in that unfolds the deepest longing of the heart, a longing for connection with the divine. And so casual, critical, crucial longings of the heart. So desires, longings, and then there are human needs we know from attachment theory, confirmed in neuroscience, and there are 4 unconscious attachment needs. They are first presence. Presence is in relationship, you want to experience that the person is physically present and emotionally available. It happens really quickly. And when I go home and say, hey, honey, how was your day? My wife turns around and says, David, so good to see you. She just signaled being physically there and emotionally available. And I experience a sense of connection. That's presence. She met my presence need. But if I go home and say, hey, how you doing, sweetheart? How was your day? And she turns around and says, it's 8 hours. Not a single text from you. I don't exist, do I? I go, immediately anxiety kicks in because she's physically present but not emotionally open. So if you want to be present and meet the presence need of the person, you have to be there and be open. That's presence need. If the other person is closed or not there, then you will go into the second attachment need, separation anxiety. You will try to find this person, open up, and we call that hyperactivation. Open up, and if that fails, you will hypoactivate, you will withdraw. That's separation anxiety. Then sometimes you face some threat or danger to your existence. And when you do that, you need the other person to be safe haven, or safe harbor is as I'm experiencing some threat or danger. I just talked to my doctor, annual physical, and my doctor wants me to do this special lab work. I'm anxious. Then your partner has to say, it's going to be okay. We're going to walk this through together. They have to present compassion and strength. And then the person goes, safe haven. Okay. Then the last one, which is real tricky for most people, is called safe, secure base. And you have to use other person as a launching pad and move away from them to explore your existence and come back to celebrate. And my wife graciously allowed me to have a midlife crisis. So in 2007, I bought a BMW motorcycle, and then I bought a second one and third one, and I put 145,000 miles. And she only rode 4 miles of those miles. And so I'm moving away because I'm using her as a launching pad to move away. And then I come back home, and the first 5 minutes being home and celebrating the 2-3 day trip was wonderful. The way she used me as a launching pad, moved away from me. She's in her 6th year doing Italian up in Portland, and last year she went to Italy by herself. So she moved away and come back. Good relationship requires presence and separation anxiety and safe haven and secure base. Those are the heart motivational needs, desires, longings, and 4 attachment needs. Thank you.